listening to a Barrie Colts podcast with your hosts, Ryan Noble and Ryan McArthur. So enjoy.
The rawness, my roaring jaws harness is awesome. Often in dip mics I grip with my paw prints. Armed with the sharpest wit, far from harmless.
Hello and welcome to a Barrie Colts podcast. I am your host, Ryan Noble, and with me today...
Ryan McArthur here, episode number 8.
Number 8.
Nice.
We're going at a snail rate with these things, but we get to them when we can, obviously, and obviously both of us have had pretty crazy schedules lately, especially you. You've been really busy.
Yeah, I'm like a top spinning off the table right now. The job I just took actually didn't work out for me. I'm moving on to another job, so it's kind of crazy. Also went to the Aurora Tigers game last night. I'm a scout for the Aurora Tigers now, which is a new thing. And
very exciting.
Yeah, it's great. I was in the clubhouse with GM Dermot and head scout Jason, and yeah, we just were hanging out and took.
He seems like a really nice guy.
Yeah,
like on social media, like he's great. He shares stuff of mine all the time, and he likes quite a bit of the stuff. So,
well, just really passionate hockey guy, and those two guys are great. Dermot's all over the Twitter. He loves it, and it was good. We lost. Tigers lost 5-4 in OT, but it was a good game against the Markham Royals. They're in first place, so that was exciting. It was pretty interesting. And then the draft pro stuff is still in full swing, so doing some OHL scouting for Draft Pro. So I'm pretty excited to see Billy Constantinu tonight from the Kingston Frontenacs. The Fronts are in town to play the Colts at 7:30 tonight?
7:30, so it'll be 7:37 by the time they get to puck drop after the national anthems.
So it'll be interesting to see Billy Constantinu. He's a defenseman, very offensive minded, super talented. I'll be watching him more on the defensive end to see if he's working on that part of his game, because that's kind of what it's been dubbed as weakness. So we'll see how that goes, and it's going to be a VBC night, so Barrie Colts crew is going to be there, all three of us.
Yeah, we got you and
Justin.
I will be there. We got Justin going there, and also we got our buddy Jeff from Cheap Seat Productions,
nice.
who does all of our photography on the website.
He does a great job.
He really does, and he's going to be there. He's probably going to be looking for us before the game starts,
nice.
So we'll catch up with him.
Cool.
As he mentioned already, the Colts are playing Kingston tonight. As I jump to the bottom of our very limited notes here, Colts are 3-0 against Kingston this season, which is good, as the team is obviously in dire need of wins as they do their final push here, hopeful to get maybe that final playoff spot. Luckily for the Colts, Kingston has just been not very good. 0-9, 0-1 in the last 10 games, and being the visiting team, they have a record of 4-21, 1-0 on the road. So it kind of is scary, because it seems like one of those situations where the Colts should win, but then you think of a game like Flint, where we should have probably beaten Flint, plus Flint had their bus breakdown, so they were late, and then they ended up coming to Barrie and beating us anyway. So unfortunately, these games where you think these are the ones we're going to get points, end up being the one where we end up losing. So hopefully that's not the case tonight. As we mentioned, the team is pushing for a playoff berth here. You see a lot of people on social media talking about how it doesn't seem very likely, but it is incredibly likely. I mean, the team is really not that far out of that final spot. You figure they've got 48 points right now. Peterborough's the 8th place team with that final spot in the East with 53 points. So, I mean, we're talking about 5 points left in between to catch up. And Peterborough isn't a team that's really ripping through the standings. They've lost their last 2 games. They've only got 2 wins in their last 10 games. So,
it's struggling,
It's not unrealistic that Barrie could slide up ahead of them. Other teams to watch, obviously, is North Bay, who is just ahead of them as well. And Hamilton's got a little bit of padding, but again, there's another team that's kind of just on that brink where they could drop. So, they've all got pretty busy schedules over this last stretch. We play all those teams a couple times. I think we play We play Peterborough once. We play Hamilton one time. And we also have one game with North Bay. So, I mean, those are obviously going to be the biggest games to watch, most important ones. Unfortunately, the Colts have struggled with North Bay this season. We've beaten them one time out of 4 games. Hamilton, again, we're 1 win, 2 losses against them. And Peterborough, I think we played Peterborough one more time on this last stretch, and we beat them in our only meeting there. What was it, last week or just the other
Yeah,
day even?
just
So,
just Thursday, I think, was it, or
yeah, that's
Thursday or
right.
Friday or
So,
something? Yeah.
and I mean, these are those will be the biggest ones, but in that stretch, especially for the Colts, I mean, we've got 3 meetings with Niagara,
Hmm.
which we'll tiptoe on that team a little bit later in the podcast, but nothing really big, anyways. So it's easy to give the team a hard time, and I mean, the Facebook comments on the Colts social media page is just trying sometimes. It's just people
Oh
ripping into
yeah.
the team, and it's like, you know, we're on the cusp. It's very achievable. This team just needs to really take advantage of the game tonight in Kingston, and then the next one against Hamilton, which is our next game after tonight's game, which is a Monday, I think. It's the afternoon game,
Right,
so
two
that's
o'clock. Yeah,
two
in
o'clock.
Hamilton.
So, and then we've got some games that we could win, and then we've got some tough ones, which will be good tests. But I mean, a lot of these other teams are in the very same situation.
Yeah, and like Hamilton's 3 spots up on us, but they're only 8 points up, but we've also got 2 games in hand. So, I mean, if they win that one against Hamilton, then it's only a 6 point difference. Well, that doesn't factor into what would happen tonight, but that would be, and assuming that the Colts beat Kingston,
Mhm.
which is probably going to happen, like that would be only a 4 point difference and still have 2 games in hand. 2 games in hand, 4 points down. So it's, I mean, they're close. They're close to. They could get out as high as 6th.
Yeah.
And if they get up to that point, it gets you an easier first round matchup. And anything can happen in the playoffs. Got hot goaltending in Barrie right now. Jet Greaves is absolutely on fire. We're
And
gonna
Ty's
talk.
been good too.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about them a little bit more later, so we're not gonna double up on that. But
And the big thing
yeah.
here is just the fact that, I mean, one of the things that we did in our post actually was we took a look at the remaining schedules of Barrie, North Bay, Hamilton, and Peterborough. And one of the things I did was I just kind of tallied up all of the wins and losses versus the teams that they're against. And Hamilton, of the 4 teams, has the worst record against the teams that they've got coming up. As far as their final schedule, they've got a 37.9% winning rate
Percentage,
against the teams that they have. And the big thing to look at there is a big chunk of that is just they play Peterborough the one time in Mississauga, but that makes up for 8 of the total 11 wins that they have against these teams. Oddly enough, Peterborough has the biggest percentage of all of those teams with their remaining opponents, 58.13%. But the one thing to look at there is 2 of
They're
their following
struggling.
games are against Kingston, and
Yeah.
they're 5-1 against Kingston so far this season. So you drop that, and I mean that makes a huge change on that number. Barry's 40% against the teams that they've got coming
Oh
up,
yeah, I see.
and
Yeah.
North Bay is 45%. So I mean, very similar cases here. Barry's got 7 games at home, 7 games on the road, so that's a big thing too. But I mean, this is all stuff that we're going to keep track of as the game, or as the season progresses. I'll be sure to update the post and the numbers just so we can kind of reflect on it and kind of have our followers a reference point just to kind of see the possibilities. But like I said, it's easy to kind of be hard on how this season has been. But the season's not done, and even if we end up getting that bottom spot and end up like lining up with Ottawa, getting thumped against Ottawa in the first round is still better than not having these kids get that little bit of experience.
Yeah, that playoff experience is huge, and there's 14 games left in the season. They got a lot of time to make up the ground. There's not even that much ground to make up. But an interesting thing is if you look at the goals for, goals against, Hamilton's minus 29 in 6th place. In 7th place, North Bay is minus 30. In 8th place, Peterborough is minus 24, and then Barrie in 9th is only minus 7. So they've been in a lot of close games, lost a lot of tight ones, and I mean that's indicative of something. Like you got to look at a minus 7. That's really not too far off of zero. So
I mean, Kingston below us is what, minus 128?
oh my gosh.
Yikes. I mean, but it just goes to, I think that the point here is that, like, yes, the Colts are not winning like they'd like to be doing, but they're obviously
Wow.
not getting blown out of the water, They're
Yeah,
obviously,
Kingston.
that is huge. I mean, what's
Welcome
Flint?
to Kingston, Shane,
What's
right?
I mean, Flint's creeping on a $1.50 there, so I mean,
Oh man.
but at the same time, these are not teams that we should.
Yeah, these guys are in a quite a battle for the exceptional status kid Shane Wright from the Don Mills Flyers. So it hasn't been approved yet, but he's going to be coming to the OHL next year, and he's going to be going first overall. So what do they got in their battle? 2 points difference between Flint and Kingston.
Which is crazy. Think about, like,
they're battling it out for this top
how
prospect.
long did Flint wait? Not wait, because I mean, obviously they wanted to win earlier in the season, but how long was their losing streak at the beginning of the season? Like, it was huge. So I mean, obviously they're treading in the right direction. I mean, as good as you can with 10 wins on the season, whereas unfortunately Kingston now. Flint does have a game in hand too, so I mean, again, that's just still the difference of 4 points, even if Kingston wins tonight, which again, hopefully isn't the case. But yeah, I think that's a great point that you were making as far as the team's overall plus minus. I mean, and the huge thing for them has obviously been goaltending, and since they've kind of solidified the situation, I mean, clearly Jet right now is the guy, and with Zukov gone back to the USHL, it's kind of given those two a chance to work on their skills and get ice time and get games. And Jet's been doing a huge chunk of the workload, and anytime Kai's come in to play, he was outstanding the other night.
Yeah.
And the team has just been, just outstanding numbers. Greaves has just been, last week he was just like 100 saves in 2 games, and then he had like 43 there the other night.
Yeah, he's seen a lot of rubber in the last bunch of games. His save percentage is at .918, so he's absolutely on fire. Like at one point, he had the best save percentage in the entire OHL at .922. He might still have it.
Actually, when I did my post on Greaves there, what was the last week? He was
still
number
one.
I think
Yeah,
he was like top 5 for.
And like the other guys that are close to him are older. They're drafted already. They're so Greaves in his draft year is turning a lot of heads, and yeah, like we're gonna go into the depth chart. So do you want to start with goalies here?
Yeah, we got them all up here.
We got it up. So yeah, Jet Greaves has been incredible. Actually, when the Colts app shut down, I had enough points to get a couple signed pucks, and I'm gonna get the Tyler Tucker and Ryan Suzuki puck, but now I got to get my Jet Greaves puck. I brought a puck with me in Sharpie, so
nice.
Maybe I can find Jet one of these days to get one, because I got to get one from him too, because he is incredible. 918 save percentage, 303 goals against. I can't hold that against him. He's kind of left hung out to dry sometimes. We noted the shots he's faced. He's facing
100 shots in 2 games there last week. I mean, he ended up getting a win in those games, and we got the overtime point against London.
In the last 5 games, I think it was like an average of 40 shots, which is absolutely absurd.
Yeah, I tweeted something about it. I can't remember exactly what the numbers were, but I think it was
40 shots a game.
His last 4 or 40 saves
a game.
His last 5 starts, I think it was 198 saves that he made in 5 starts.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, and it's the thing is
gotta help him out a bit here.
He's a rookie too, I mean, the way he's so confident. Like, he just looks so calm all the time. His ability to kind of see through traffic, to not allow rebounds, to just, like, he's so solid.
Yeah, I've been writing, I've seen Jet a bunch of times this year, and I've done a bunch of scouting reports on him for Draft Pro. And what I got on him is, first thing is crazy athleticism. Just absolutely incredible the way he's able to move. The elasticity, he's got like the flexibility, the lateral movement is incredible. Like the way how quick he gets over from side to side is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm seeing a lot of hockey IQ there. Like I'm really noticing that he's able to read the play. He knows like when the pass goes across, he's already got a jump on it, and he's moving like before the pass happens or whatever, but not too much where he's getting caught by fakes and then moving too early. So like there's a lot to like about his game and that quickness. Like he gets those pads down quick, he moves so well. Even just his skating in the crease and even playing the puck. Puck goes around the net, he gets it, makes a smart play with it. There's a lot to like about his game. He didn't get that NHL Central scouting rating, which was ridiculous. So he's got like 30, they got 30 names on there, and you know why that is. It's a size bias. They kind of they're not really going to look at a goalie unless they're what, like 6'4".
I talked to a couple of scouts actually there. I think it was at the end of last season, and all of them were saying the same thing to me. It was unless a talent is
Elite.
dominant
Yeah.
already,
But he's proven
they're
that
not
he
looking.
is, though.
They're not looking at anyone generally under 6'5"
Yeah.
now. I think it was a Boston scout that told me that last year.
Yeah, I think-
and I think a Columbus one kind
Yeah.
of told me the same thing. And just
He's
to kind of
forcing them to, though.
you know what? I think that the other thing that might have hurt him as well in those things was just the games played. I
Yeah,
think that
the sample size.
It's unfortunately as far as the sample size. I mean, obviously this time next year, I think that it'll be
Right.
I mean, he would be looked at obviously a lot differently. But just to kind of give a reflection, even just of what his numbers look like in comparison, you look at Maxim Zhukov. Before he left Barrie, he played 19 games as well, which is the exact same as Greaves has started. Or played this season, and to just kind of compare those two guys, and we're talking about Zhukov, who's
A fourth
got
round
some
pick in
age on him.
2017. Yeah.
Exactly. Right now, Jets
He beat him out.
3.03 goals against average, and Zhukov's goals against average was 3.43. Now, it is also worth noting too that the team at the beginning of the season, when Zhukov was getting a heavier part of the workload, we had Joey Keane on the blue line. We had a lot more offensive production. We still had Picard in the lineup. Lucas Chioda was there. We had Murray, who was defensively reliable.
That's true, yeah.
You know, so I mean, Zhukov had a lot. I don't want to say easier time. He had more of a supporting cast than Jet is here.
Well,
the late
Joey
part of the
Keane was
season.
voted the best defensive defenseman last year in the OHL, and he's incredible defensively with his gap control and stuff. But so that's a good point.
So, I mean, just a comparison as far as what we've seen just alone this season. And I think that, like we said, the games played is probably what maybe has hurt Jet. But I think that, like, over this last little while, especially getting the goalie of the CHL goalie of the week there last week, that's all huge stuff, you know. So,
I think I wouldn't be surprised if you start seeing him pop up on some draft lists.
I think it will happen, no doubt. I mean,
once the draft lists expand, that he's going to be on them, and I wouldn't be surprised if someone goes out on a limb and puts him pretty high on a list.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I'm going to keep pumping out content, just kind of helping people realize how great Jet Greaves has been.
Yeah, we love it in the draft year. Like we probably try to focus more on the guys in their draft year to get some stuff out there. If we see some good video or something, or like something good's happening, we really want the world to know. So. We focused a lot on these draft guys, and I got to put together a Jet Greaves highlight video. I think I'm going to do that soon. So,
good.
Yeah.
Do it.
It's time for some of those, yeah.
We need it. Yeah. So while we're on goaltenders, obviously, we can't obviously overlook the work of Kai Edmonds this season as well. I mean, the other night he was just outstanding.
Yeah.
It was tough earlier in the year, as we mentioned. There was the 3 goalies. I mean, there was times where Kai was only getting maybe a game every 2 weeks, maybe, and there was times where it was a little bit longer than that. So, but now that he's at least getting the 1 game a week, he's looking more confident. And I mean, it's a situation where though Jet's obviously been the number 1 right now, you don't feel like you can put your backup in and know that you're going to get about the same opportunity to pick up a win as you would with your starter.
Kai he's been good. The thing about Kai is I think he's a lot taller than it says he is. What do they got him listed at here? I'd say he's got to be close to 6'3". They got him at 6'2". Like, I don't know. I think he's got to be like getting up there.
I think that's something that actually we were joking about that the one day. For any of you guys that have paid attention, we've been doing the interviews that we did earlier in the season with our friends at Cheap Seat Productions,
Yeah,
where the Colts quick cuts, and there was an interview with me, and there was one
Hill,
with
right?
Picard and one with Bignell, who are
Bignell,
both
okay,
about
yeah,
six
yeah.
one, 6'2".
Yeah.
I'm 6 feet. And you could see the interview, and it looked like, they had like about an inch, maybe 2 inches on me. And then all of a sudden, in the last one we updated,
Yeah.
it was Matthew Hill,
Yeah, yeah.
who looks like he's got like a full human head on me, and he's listed at 6'3". And I'm like looking at this, and I'm like,
There's no way
obviously
he's 6'3".
they need to do an update because Hill, that dude, he's got to be at least 6'5",
Especially
maybe
in their
6'6".
draft year too, right?
Just
Like, oh,
update
man,
it, somebody,
what?
because like if they're suggesting that a guy who clearly had an inch on me is only 1 inch shorter than a guy who has a full human head on
Yeah,
him,
Hill's huge.
he's just a monster. Like I felt like a little kid for
He's gotta
that.
be 6'5".
He's got to be at least.
At least.
But yeah, Kai's been good. He's reliable, and he helps keeps us in games. And again, it's the same situation with Greaves where the team's generating anywhere from 4 to 7 shots in the first period, and then what was it the other night? We got like 3 shots on goal in the third period, and just shots on goal have been very, very hard to come by.
I mean, he could get drafted too. You never know. Like someone could see something there. The thing I like about him is I find he's got a lot of poise and confidence, and he's really calm, and like he's able to like stay cool in the crease, and he's got that athleticism as well. Like he can really move and make some nice saves, like that scorpion save.
Ridiculous!
Unbelievable.
I don't know if the vote's over for that, actually.
Yeah,
we might
so
be
make sure
preaching to the choir at this point, but they did have a vote for the CIBC Showdown.
CHL play of
the week.
The week,
yeah. And he was the representative of the OHL for that. That save was just ridiculous.
Yeah, I got to get out there and vote for Kai and show the support. I think that vote
I have a link on the website.
It might still be open. So
if you want to go to the Very, Very Colts website.
Get out there. I think you can vote as much as possible, so just spend a day.
I think you get like 20 votes a day or something like that.
No, you can just keep going.
Yeah, just keep going. just
keep,
do it.
Just vote.
Last time I saw, he
While
was
you're watching TV, just keep pressing that.
He was
button.
ahead in the vote, so
yeah,
and I mean rightfully so, because that save was just insanity.
Yeah, he's good.
So we could take a look at the skaters. I was just trying to.
Yeah, it's still up. It's on the OHL site, right?
Yeah,
there.
I was just preparing for an
Edmonds
advance.
kicks up the Scorpion.
OHL. So nice. I mean, obviously, as far as producers, Ryan Suzuki's still leading the way on the Colts. 51 games played. He's got 55 points on the season. I mean, the guy's he's racking in the points on the power play with 12 power play assists, 7 power play goals, 18 goals on the season. Actually, he's a point away from his 100th career OHL point. So
nice.
That's something to kind of keep your eyes open for
tonight, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
it could get there. Yeah,
it could absolutely happen. I mean, there's going to be a team to light up. It's the one that's minus 127 or whatever it is. So,
yeah,
not to knock Kingston. I mean, that's a tough spot, but I mean, just do it.
Yeah, Suzuki is on fire. There was a little period there where he was doing a lot of overpassing, and he kind of struggled for a bit of a period, like a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, but he started to shoot the puck, and like you're starting to notice him get some goals. Like that one versus Flint last week was pretty sick. Yeah, he started to get some goals here in the last like bunch of games, and like yesterday or last game, I guess against Peterborough on Valentine's Day, he got a couple assists. So yeah, he's doing good.
And yeah, he's got a 2-game point streak right now too. He's got 3 assists in his last 2 games. So and it is 3, 4, 5. Yeah, and he had a 3-point game there against Mississauga. There, I think it was like last week or maybe just a little bit over a week ago. So Suzuki, obviously, I mean, he's just trying to add to his value with the NHL draft coming up. So
yeah, and I put out we put out a scouting report that I did on Ryan Suzuki for Draft Pro. So my boss Dan Stewart, check him out on Twitter. He is what is he here at D Stewart DP. So Yeah, that's the guy in charge of Draft Pro. So he put out one of my scouting reports into one of my game reports online here, and I said Suzuki is a heads-up playmaking pivot who skates quickly and shows high IQ level. He absolutely flies at top speed with a stride that looks effortless. He has the ability and edges to turn and stop on a dime, but the best thing about his skating is the ability to change speeds at an alarming rate. He can go from full throttle and down to idle and back to top flight in a blink, totally breaking the ankles of the opposing defenders in the process. He utilizes his excellent stick handling skills, speed, awareness, and balance to maintain possession and open up space for himself to make a play. His passes are typically very hard, crisp, flat, accurate, and delivered with perfect timing. His finishing ability is more about timing and positioning than an overpowering shot or a firecracker release. He gets himself into the high percentage areas for opportunities before pulling a devastating fake to open up goalies or selling pass before popping one upstairs. Defensively, Suzuki can cover a lot of space in the neutral zone by anticipating the play and cutting off passing lanes. While his toughness is underrated overall, he doesn't have the strength to move guys and dominate physically. This is not his game, but if he could add some upper body strength, it would benefit him immensely with shielding the puck, winning draws, and playing stronger defense below the dots. He does a great job of reading the plays and positioning, which eliminates lots of offensive options for opponents. Overall, Suzuki has a bright future and would not surprise to see him selected much higher than we have him currently ranked, which is 12th. So that was a mouthful, but I wanted to get that one out there. That's my full kind of a full scouting report from a variety of different games on Ryan Suzuki.
I feel like the big point too of that was just working on that upper body strength.
Could you imagine?
You know, and you think of guys like Sidney Crosby, obviously me being a Penguins fan. Like one of the things, like one of the aspects of his game that does not get the credit that it deserves is how Sid's basically a first line grinder. Like that guy's work in the corners, the way like the game against Edmonton the other day where he just made Connor McDavid look absolutely ridiculous on the boards. He's like tripping over his feet. That, by the way, Connor McDavid's the supposed new best in the world. As Sidney
Much
Crosby
to your chagrin.
is just schooling him in the corners. So
yeah,
you know, just ridiculous. But if he could add that to his game, I mean, he's already got the skill, he's got the vision, he's got the ability to make plays. Like, I mean, that would just make him, it would take him to a whole other level, you know? And
sure.
he doesn't need to become, you know, people are telling him to throw more hits. And no, he doesn't need to do that. That's not what he needs to do.
Leave him alone.
He just needs to be able to, like, just have the strength to protect the puck different.
Oh, man.
And if he can get that, he's going to be ridiculous.
No, and NHL teams are drafting based on potential. They don't care about what his current stats are, how he's doing in junior this year on a 9th place team in the OHL. Right. He is the man. He's going to be good. Once he gets that strength and is able to do that, that's basically what I'm saying in my report is like it's going to happen. And when he does, look out.
Comes with maturity, man.
He's going to be incredible next year. He'll be in the gym this summer doing that. And buddy, like look out next year. He could be the OHL leading scorer.
So, moving on from Ryan Suzuki, number 2 for points for the Colts is St. Louis Blues prospect, defenseman. Yes, number 2 on the Colts is a defenseman. We have Tyler Tucker, who is 9 points away from getting 50 points on the season. Right now, he's got 41. He's averaging .76 points a game. Just for reference, last season, he averaged .39 points a game.
Big talks.
One of the things that we've mentioned in previous podcasts was the Blues wanted to see him work on his offensive production. And I don't think that they're going to be disappointed with that.
Happy.
I mean, he's got 3 power play goals on the season. He's already passed his shot total from last season. He's got 137 shots on goal. He's just been, and he's running a point streak right now. In the last 2 games, I think he's got 4 assists. Let me double check that.
Yeah, look at that.
6 assists in the last 4 games.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just
7 in the last 5.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's still doing all the stuff that, fans are accustomed to with Tyler Tucker. He's still running over everyone, taking 10-minute game or misconducts for beautifully executed hip checks there the other night, which was
That's
just
just brutal.
Nonsense.
Oh my gosh.
Beautiful head. Beautiful head.
Can
Not
we
long.
play hockey anymore?
Nope.
Or?
No more hitting.
No more hitting.
And it's just.
Could
it's
you
just
imagine
sad.
this kid in the 80s? He would have been like,
wouldn't- He would have been worshipped. Everyone like, oh, beauty. Like Don Cherry would be
statue
wearing.
for him outside.
Don Cherry would wear Tyler Tucker's shirts. He'd be talking about just insanity,
But another thing that's
Plus, he's from Ontario, so Cherry would like him even more.
he's from
Good
up
old
north in
Ontario
Long.
boy.
He's from Long Lac. It's cool. Like there's people that message me for that. There's one guy that grew up playing hockey with him, and he's always messaging me for updates. So they're really excited about Tyler Tucker.
They must not have the internet where
You know
he
what?
is.
Something that's really cool that happened about us talking about him being that throwback player with sneaky skill, which is not so sneaky anymore with the point production he's putting up. He had a big fight against a guy from the London Knights, Billy Moskal. Was it the London Knights?
It was definitely London, yeah.
Yeah, Billy Moskal.
Yeah, I think
So
that's right.
kid from Sudbury, and he laid him out. I threw that fight on Twitter, and it went crazy.
Bar Down picked it up.
Bar Down picked it up. So Bar Down picked up my tweet about Tucker, and they put that tweet with the video of him beating up Billy Moskal, which was just a vicious knockout. And the other fight that he had,
We did that Photoshop of
in
the Mortal
St. Louis.
Kombat. Yeah, at camp when he fought that 21-year-old.
yeah, and they had a good fight, so they put both of those in there. But yeah, the Mortal Kombat
Finish him.
finish him.
Just a beauty. Yeah, Tucker's been outstanding, and I mean, he's riding his point streak right now, and
Yeah.
I mean the Blues. I know that my friends at bluesrants.com there are very, very excited about him. Still asking for
What a
updates
pick!
constantly.
Great job by St.
Just
Louis.
beautiful. I mean, St. Louis fans need to be really excited because he's St. Louis fans love that type of defenseman. So
See, like it would have been interesting if no one picked him. What would have ended up happening this year? I think he would have gone maybe in the second round, like as a second year eligible, which is crazy because that's what Sean Dursey went. He went in the second round, the Leafs 50th overall, I believe it was.
Mhm.
Those guys never go in the first round. Like that's absurd to hear of that. I can't remember any that's happened recently, but he would have been. But he did get picked, obviously, and didn't get passed by. So
Yeah.
good for him.
But I mean, at the same time, too, maybe the St. Louis gave him incentive. They told him what they wanted to see from him, and I mean, it's translating in his game. So I mean, who knows how his season might have played out had he been, obviously he'd be hungry, still trying to earn that spot. But he's just been incredible this season.
Yeah, I'm excited to get my signed pucks from Suzuki and Tucker. The Colts app having shut down and everything. So yeah, that would be cool.
Let's see if we can fly through these a little bit quicker than we are right now.
Well, we did the top two guys, so
we
we gotta
did.
give them some time.
We're half an hour and we're good.
We're good.
We're the big ones.
We're good at blabbing.
Number 3 on the list for Colts point production is our lone overage player, Benny Howard-Chuck, who, I mean, he's been really good for the team this season. He's got 36 points on the year, 21 goals. I mean, he's leading the team in goals. He's leading the team in power play goals with 8. I mean, he's still taking penalties, but I mean, that's his game. That's not going to change. You can sit here yelling at your television or yelling in the crowd, telling Ben not to take penalties, but it's obviously been ingrained in him. The team kind of holds that mentality. Also worth noting, Tucker has more penalties on the season than Ben Howard-Chuck too. So I mean, it's some of those high energy guys. It just kind of goes with the territory, But again, 36 points on the year. I mean, he's been good.
Yeah, 21 goals. The big thing about him this year is the shot is just a cannon. I don't know.
And he uses it all the time. He seems like he's always shooting pucks in net.
He's got a lot of goals. Like he's had a lot of chances too. He's had a lot of opportunities. So, but yeah, no, that shot has been good. And
actually leads the team in shots as well. He's got 153, which is tied with Captain Jason Wilms.
Yeah.
So yeah, Benny's been good. I mean, you can't really complain about what his production's been like. So it's been a good season for him, and I mean, the team's going to be depending on his experience, anyways, as they try to make this push here towards the end of the season. So. Do your OA responsibilities, Benny. Get it. Number 4 on the team hasn't played in forever.
I know, I miss him, man.
You know, it's been.
When is he coming back?
I know. You know, we last couple games I've gone to, I've actually sat kind of close to him there in the stands, and you can see he's got one of those like tensor squeezy things.
He's
So
got rid of the sling.
he's doing his rehabilitation.
Tape a car.
Actually, the one game him and Forrester were fighting over that thing. But I mean, 36 points in 33 games.
Yeah,
the guy,
good. He's good.
It'd be nice to have him in the lineup. Number 5 is our captain, Jason Wilms. 14 goals on the season, 20 assists. He just got his what was his 50th career goal was there last week. So
Jason Wilms, the last couple games I've seen, he's been the best Barrie Colt by a mile. This guy was named captain of the Barrie Colts in the new with the new announcements. I don't think we've talked about that in podcasts.
Nope.
We already talked about, obviously we're not going to go into Suzuki and Tucker, but they're good choices for assistants just based on their the way they're able to lead by example on the ice. But Jason Wilms has been incredible. He's keeping up the work ethic, the hardest worker on the team. I'm really impressed by his game. He's by far the best at face-offs on the team. Like his face-off numbers, just looking at the last bunch of games, are ridiculous.
He's by far the best on the team in the face-off.
And that gets possession for like every game is over 50%, like way over. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. So like the thing about him is he's been made captain. I'm really excited about that because I think next year there could be some changes happening. There's a lot of talk about potential coaching changes and whatnot. So they're going to need that strong leader with that potential culture change. We don't know what's happening yet, but and he is that guy. I know for a fact that they could have got a bunch of draft picks for him, but what I'm thinking is Colts management is looking at it as like kind of keep this guy around, good leadership, someone for next year to mentor the younger guys. And
it seems like the guys really like him. You can't have enough guys like that.
He's the man.
Roster. Yeah, no, Wilms. I mean, I love Wilms. He's
I've been
one
really
of my personal favorites.
I've been really impressed, especially lately. I went to the game in Oshawa, and it was to be honest, I was quite disappointed in the effort level, but Jason Wilms was the one that was really giving it his all, and he scored a beauty goal, and every shift he was all over on the forecheck, going crazy. So.
And in the last 5 games, he's gotten at least a point in 4 of those games.
Yeah.
So I mean, this last little while, he's really, not that he was doing poorly, but he's
great
really
defensively too.
improved. I mean, yeah, for sure.
He is -8, but I don't know how that stat's happening because like from the eye test, his defense is great. So I don't really know what happened there, but
penalty killing.
His penalty killing is fantastic. Yeah.
But I mean, also taking a lot of those minutes too.
So yeah, congrats, Wilmsy. I guess. Do they call him Wilmsy?
Wilmsy, we're gonna call you Wilmsy either way. I mean, it seems like
Jason on being named captain. That's huge news. We're pumped about that.
And if you are listening, I still need you to sign my jersey.
We're just assuming I've
been patiently waiting. Come on, Wilmsy. Moving on from Wilmsy, our captain, we're number 6 is Jacob Tortora.
Torts.
Who's just
all the nicknames going.
Just Tortor. That's just call him Thor. How is no one calling him Thor?
I don't know.
I mean, he doesn't really have that same Thor presence, I guess. But I mean, other than
on Twitter, he's Jake Torts.
Torts.
So, yeah.
I mean, it's every time I try to type his name in, my phone wants to say Tortorella, so that needs to change. But 32 games he's played, obviously, since coming to Barrie, and 16 goals, 8 assists. 24 points on the season.
And talk about speed. blazing speed. He absolutely flies, and his edges are like to die for.
And he must be one of the most interesting
So
players to watch
fast.
skate.
Oh
The way he
gosh.
he moves his whole body to get it's kind of like looking at it's kind of like
The 10-2 edges,
you know
right?
Roadrunner, like when he
Yeah.
starts spinning his legs, right?
Yeah.
Like that's honestly, that's I mean he's so quick.
He's the fastest on the Colts by a mile. Like if you had that skating
The skills
the
comp
skills
thing.
comp, yeah, he'd be the
Yeah,
fastest. Like,
he's
he'd
just
have to
been
be
outstanding.
so good.
Another guy who's been really good for the Colts, especially since being acquired, has been on the blue line,
Yeah,
Jack
Jack
York.
York, man.
He's got well on the season he's got 5 goals, 17 assists. But since coming over to Barrie, he's got 4 goals, 6 assists. I mean, interesting considering he played 28 games in Kitchener, only scored 1 goal, and he's gotten 11 assists there too. So I mean,
Yeah.
his goal production has gone up huge.
Yeah,
And
he's draft eligible. Yeah, and that goal production is up. That his shot is huge.
yeah, just a bomb from the
He's got a
point.
bomb, like especially on the one timer when he hits the clapper. Oh man, it's crazy. Like he's got so much velocity on that. I was in Mississauga and he got a one timer and it just went like right off the post. Like the post rung, like you could hear the post ringing for like probably like 5 seconds after. Like it was one of those ones where it's kind of like, oh man, like the sound kind of lingers. It was huge. It was
Well,
a
he likes
huge
to shoot it
shot.
too. Yeah, but I mean, since he's been with Barrie, he's averaging just about 2 shots a game. So I mean, to have
Yeah.
that from the point is really helpful, and obviously he's cashing in on it.
Yeah, he's mobile. Like he's a good skater. He makes good passes, smart plays. I've kind of seen like a mixed bag from him. Like some games he's really good. Some games I'm left wanting a little more. But I'm really happy about the pickup, and I see a lot of potential there. I also see a guy that would be a good pick in the later rounds of the NHL draft.
No, he's been great. So he was
Yeah,
definitely a really good
great.
pickup for the
Yeah, I'm
Colts.
pumped about that. I think his potential is sky's the limit there.
Another guy who has been doing well, especially in recent weeks,
The 10
Aiden
goals, eh?
Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah, 10 goals there, 11 assists on the season. He's really been, like not that he, I don't think that he really had the start that we kind of had anticipated, especially just because, I mean, at camp, and again, camp's always tough to read, but he was just flying at camp.
Hmm.
But he's been really good for the team, getting some
Yeah.
point production recently.
Yeah, I
He
could.
just got his 50th career OHL point there.
Nice.
So,
Yeah, you put out a bunch of stuff on that, made him some graphics and stuff, which is great.
yeah, I like
Um,
Brownie.
Brownie is yeah
Since we're doing nicknames, I don't know if that's the real
yeah
one, but let's see if it takes. No one
his
wants.
shot is crazy. Like he's got a real nice shot. It's got a good velocity and he's been close to getting quite a few more goals. Um, yeah, like he's hit posts and stuff. So he could have more, and he could end up. I don't know. It's tough to say. Like I could see him getting over 15 on the year with 14 games left. You could definitely see 5 more.
Especially
But
with them kind of picking up the pace right now. And I mean, I don't think that there's anybody on the team that when they hit somebody else, I mean, other than maybe Tucker, obviously, but
yeah.
Brown is just such an
Oh, he's a
aggressive player.
freaking Mack
Like,
truck.
we'll sit there on the boards and he'll hit a guy, and it just
It
seems like the
hurt.
whole
Oh my
thing's going to go down.
god, dude,
Um,
he's vicious. We talked about that before. Like Aiden Brown, he's an OA next year.
yeah,
I could see him coming back. For me right now, Ragers next year are Tortora, Brown, and Wilms.
yeah,
That's what I'm thinking.
yeah,
So
me too.
yeah, it'd be fun to have him back, and he's a good leader. A lot of guys like him on the team. He's gonna have to obviously battle for that last OA spot, but for me right now, I got him there. So, but it doesn't matter what I think.
It matters what you think. Stop being nonsensical. So yeah, and on to another guy who was a good pickup for the team.
Yeah.
Dalton Duhart of the
Yeah.
Duhart Foundation. He's
Nice.
he's been a really good pickup too. 4 goals, 4 assists since joining Barrie. That's through 21 games. 29 games with London
I
before
still
the
can't
trade.
get over that his great uncle is Larry Robinson.
Mhm.
Unbelievable. 10 goals, 4 goals in Barrie in 21 games, 8 points. This guy, he's got a lot of skill. I really like his puck skills. I like his shot. He's a good
good at
pivot,
draws.
good draws. He's good center.
Great
Plays the
along the
position
boards.
well. High hockey IQ. Moves the puck well. The only thing about him, I'd say, is maybe I'd like to see him get a little faster, but yeah, he could end up getting drafted in the late rounds. It'll be interesting to see if that happens. But maybe in the off season, a little more work on the lower body and getting a little quicker
Hmm.
because I'm noticing he's not able to get the step on guys. But he's a good player, and I'm really excited about the pickup.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're building towards the next year, next couple years, and he's going to be part of that. And I'm really excited about that. So I don't want to sound like I'm criticizing him too much, but
I
I
think you
think if
said a
he,
lot more good stuff about him than
yeah, I
bad
think if he
stuff.
does that, I think he could be like big time. So I got a lot of hopes for him.
So 10th in production for the Colts is Nathan Allenson.
Allenson,
He's
yeah,
got 3 goals, 13 assists on the season.
yeah.
He's been good, and he's been generating some more points. He's already passed his career high from last season, so he got an assist there in the last game against Peterborough. He's looking good.
Yeah, another draft eligible guy for the 2019 draft. There's quite a few of them on the Colts. Um, I got a message from a guy that tweets for the Pete's. Well, he's kind of like one of us, one of the super fans for the Pete's updates, and he said Nate Allenson is incredible.
Well, he's not wrong.
And I was like, yeah, he's good.
Well, that guy needs to
He
follow me on Twitter, by the way. If you're listening, follow me on Twitter. Come on.
He follows me.
Like, yeah, I know. You should also follow me. All right, I get triggered when people
I'll
don't follow
message
me on
him.
Twitter.
We message and stuff. So
Just saying that.
I'll tell him.
I'm
about
gonna
that.
complain on the podcast every episode.
That's hilarious.
I've got like 12 followers, so it's not good publicity for you there, bud.
Oh.
Yeah, no, he's been good.
Allison's good. He's really mobile, moves well. I've noticed he's really picked up his game. It didn't really fit him playing in the bottom pairings. I think he was playing with like Cameron and Hill and stuff, and it didn't really suit him. But now that he's playing with Jack York, you see him playing with Tyler Tucker sometimes, like moving up in those. I think he's able to elevate his game and
I
do
really
more.
liked him with York.
Yeah, him and York, they're very similar, so like that is a very good fit.
Mhm.
So yeah, like them growing together is great news for us going forward because it looks like in a couple years or next year even have a good summer. We could have a good team next year. So
No doubt.
I like that pairing.
Luke Bignall, who was one of
Biggie.
the guys that we did, the notorious Big. No. 8 goals in the season, 6 assists. You know, he's been good.
Yeah, he's sitting at minus 13 right now. Like he's a high energy guy, big effort guy. His skating is ridiculous. He's absolutely flying out there. When he gets in tight, last year, like it seemed like he was able to like kind of bury a few more of those last year, but stick handling in tight's kind of letting him down. But like honestly, from an outside perspective, if I were to give advice, I would just like stick handle all summer.
Yeah.
Like if he can like combine that speed and the skating that he's got with his edges with like a little bit tighter in the tight spaces and whatever, and then get those shots off a little quicker, I think he'd be like big time. So
For sure. And it
that's
is
my
worth
thoughts.
noting that he is up in point production this season from last year.
Yeah, no, he's a good
He's got an
player.
extra
He's
goal.
really good.
Last year he got 7, and this is in 2 less games than he played last season. He's got a pair.
Yeah, definitely.
The only area that's really kind of looking different on here is his plus minus. But again, we're talking about a very different team from this year and last season.
Yeah.
And yeah, face-off attempts, face-offs won. Face-offs could be a work in prep, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
That's
guys.
part of those puck skills that I was talking about, though. Like those hands. Like if he can work on that, I think that he'd be big time. So
And as far as face-offs are concerned, like I mean, you even look at a guy like Ryan Suzuki, whose numbers really aren't that great in the
No,
face-off
not
circle
really.
either. So That's all stuff that, like you said, he works on his hands. He can. That's something that he could easily turn around for next season. I mean, as we've mentioned, I mean, Wilms is
His
definitely
speed
the
is
guy
like
in the face-off
crazy,
circle.
man. Oh, Big No's got some legs.
Yeah, he really does. And he's an aggressive player. He's a hard guy to play against. He's willing to
Yeah.
drop the gloves. He'll defend a teammate. He's a really good guy to have on the roster. I'm a big Luke
And there's a
Bignall
lot of
fan.
time left with him. Like,
hmm
man, he's a late birthday, so he's in his draft year. Probably won't get drafted, but you never know. I mean, he's
Come next
got
season, it could be a big change for
yeah,
him
you never
too.
know.
He'll have a bigger role possibly. I mean, we'll see what the team looks like next season, obviously, but it'll be interesting to see. As of right now, Big Knowles, he's doing well. He's having a good season. Moving on, we've got our first rookie as far as
First
production
0-2,
here. We
yeah.
got Tyson Forrester.
Forrester, yeah, Barrie Junior Colts, hometown guy from Alliston, 13 points in 50 games. Most of the year he was down on the bottom lines, but he seems to be the 2002 born, so like young forward, first year eligible forward just from last year's draft. He
Yeah.
seems to be the guy that at the top of the depth chart in that age group. He's jumped Riley Piercy in the eyes of Dale Hawerchuk, so he's working with some better lines, working sometimes on the second line, third line.
He's been
Um,
mostly on the third pairing there. They've had him with
yeah,
Biggie and Duhart.
third group, yeah.
So
Um,
I mean, those are good guys for him to get a chance to play with.
yeah, he's +4. Like Forrester's wicked skilled. He's got like just incredible puck skills. He's got everything really. Like he's kind of really well rounded, good skater. He's got a good jump, good stick handling, shot. Like I really like. I honestly think Tyson Forrester is going to be huge in the OHL. I could see him being the star of the Colts. Him and Riley Piercy, hopefully. So yeah, he was a great draft pick in the third round. Really excited about him.
Definitely a good pickup. Then moving on, we've got Christopher Cameron, 12
Yeah.
assists on the season. Just, I mean, a big guy. His defensive game has been definitely noticeably better.
Yeah,
He looks more confident for sure. And I mean, his game's been good.
he's huge too. Like he's just an absolute tank, and he's a big hitter, which is great. It's good to see. 12 assists, 0 rating. Real solid player for me right now. I got him on the outside in the OA situation for next year. Just fine. He's a little flat-footed in his own end, but at the same time, tough below the dots, and it'll be interesting to see what happens next year. But yeah, like a real serviceable defenseman.
Uh, Next, we've got the American Dream, Sam Rhodes. For
The surfer
those of
boy.
you wrestling
Yeah.
fans, I'm sure there's not. Oh, if you like hockey, there's probably a bunch of you that like wrestling. Sam Rhodes, who's been doing really well, especially
Yeah.
as of late, getting some good pairings, anyways, in the roster, and he's got 7 goals, 4 assists on the year, 53 games played. He's looking good.
Yeah, he's looking good. There's quite a bit to be desired there for me. Like I saw him, I can't believe what he's able to do in the warm up. Like he's really skilled. Like his hands are just ridiculous. Like he gets the puck and he does really interesting things with it.
hmm
The only thing is like in the game, I find like his touches are a little unsure. I don't know. I'm hoping that he has a good summer and he comes back strong, but he could be under some pressure next year with all the new draft picks coming
hmm
in and some of the new prospects that they have in the system. I'm not so sure about him right now, but yeah, pretty good player, skilled, really fast. So I'm hoping he has a good summer and comes back
I think with his
strong.
speed and, like you said, his skill set, I think that the big thing probably with him is just confidence. Because I
Yeah,
mean, once the game starts, it doesn't look quite the same as it does, like you said during warm up. I think if he can kind of get that confidence, I mean, he would be just a much better
because
player.
he has the ability.
He
Like
really
he
does, and
really
he's
does,
quick.
and he's quick. But like there's just got to be a bit more there. Like -9. Um, like honestly, I would. like with some of these guys like Rhodes and Bignell, I'd be giving Piercy's spot to like their spot to Piercy every once in a while. I'm kind of frustrated with Piercy staying on the fourth line.
Yeah, yeah. We'll touch on
We'll
that
get
here
to
in a
him.
couple
Yeah,
people. Um, yeah,
yeah.
confidence. He'll get better. I think that
Let's get
having,
it, buddy. Let's
I
get
think
it.
that having, I think that having
Rooting for ya.
more competition next season is really going to kind of help him find that and elevate his game. So I mean, I think that the big test will be come training camp
Yeah,
next
like
year.
like once you get down to this point in the lineup, when you're looking at guys with like 13 points, 11 points that have been in the league a couple years, at forward with like at the -9, -13, like these kind of ratings, like you're kind of at the crossroads, so it's like all about the summer, right? You're
No
coming
pun
back.
intended. The
Yeah,
crossroads. Sam
yeah.
Rose, ladies and gentlemen, everyone. I'm here all night.
Sorry to be hard,
Stop the
but
phone.
it's
No,
the
I mean
truth. It's the truth. So
he's a very skilled player. I honestly, and like I said, I think it's just confidence. I think
yeah,
that
I
that you
think
know,
he
and
is
that
too,
happens with a lot of guys. So I think that it's something that'll develop. He'll hopefully figure it out, and hopefully a good off season will kind of help him get there.
for sure.
Up next is the 7'5" Matthew Hill.
Hill is so good.
He has been, you know what? I've been very happy with his game this season. Actually,
Yeah.
2 goals, 8 assists. He's got 10 points on the season.
You know what?
He's just been. I would like to know.
I think he might get drafted.
You know what? I think so too. I mean, and the big thing with him
He's
is
huge.
he's got the size.
And he's good.
And he can
he's
hit.
improving. That's
And-
what you want to see.
And he looks confident too. Like we're talking about the American dream there, and Hill just looks confident out there all the time.
He's
And
gaining confidence.
he's just running over dudes, and now that he
dude.
seems to be kind of
I love Hill.
now that he's kind of like getting accustomed to the like 7 inches in height that he put on in the off season,
He's a
I think he's kind
monster.
of figured it out, and he's utilizing his
Dude.
body very well.
Oh, yeah.
He's skating well, like his skating's improved, and he looks really good. And that was one of the things actually in the quick cuts that he said that he wanted to kind of work on was that and his just his offensive ability, and you see him working towards that. And having a guy like being able to play occasionally with like Tyler Tucker, I mean, you're not going to get too much of a better. Definitely not a better guy on this team to kind of help you out with your offensive production. So,
Yeah.
So now we can talk about number 16 on the team, and it's the second rookie for production here. We have Riley Piercy.
Yeah, so Piercy's like the first rounder of the Colts in 2018. A player that I absolutely love. I gotta say I am extremely frustrated with the use of him. Like he's only on the fourth line. I'll try to be nice here. but honestly, like give him a chance.
He's been a healthy scratch a few times.
What is going on
There's
here?
been times where like he's been sat so that Victor Hadfield could play forward, and I mean that's a bit of a head scratcher at times. Obviously, I mean I'm not going to pretend to be more informed on the players than Dale and the rest of the coaching staff, but there's been some times where you kind of wonder, like he's been great. He's aggressive. I think it's kind of like the same situation like we said with Rose, where maybe it's just a confident thing at times. But he's played some really good games, and he's throwing his body around. He's generating chances. He's playing well. But it's tough when you're not even positive if you're going to be getting the games.
Yeah, he's a big kid, 6'3", 182. So like
he looks bigger than that too. Like when you watch him play,
Yeah.
he just looks like a big dude.
I know his dad. We were chatting at the Oshawa game. His dad is huge. Like I think Riley's gonna fill out and be just a monster. So I'm really excited to see what he can do in the future. But yeah, he's got a couple assists in the last 4 games. A couple of nice assists actually, and I'd really like to see him like even just try. I guess they're going for a playoff spot, so it's tough to move a guy from the fourth line to the first line. But there's times where I'm just like I'm kind of at a loss for words where he's making like he's just putting out so much effort and doing so well in the forecheck and doing all these little things right. And then the next game you see him healthy scratched or I mean sometimes the effort's lacking from other guys in the lineup and like send a message, like put him down, like put someone down and just for one game. Like, give him a shot. He had one game where he played with Brownie and Bignall and got 2 assists. Like, that was a kind of an interesting line. I don't know why this isn't happening. I'm kind of frustrated.
Yeah, I mean it's a tough situation. I mean I really don't really know what the mindset is there. I
First
mean
round pick.
even just to see him get a chance, even
He's
on the
got
third
skill
line,
too, man.
just to see what he can do, because
Yeah,
you're not going to find
give him a
out by
shot.
keeping him kind of where he is. Up next, Peter Fleming.
Yeah, I like Fleming. I like Fleming. 5 points in 44 games. He's on that fourth line, and he doesn't get too much ice, but he plays a decent game. Like he moves well. He's big body. Someone that you're gonna probably see do a lot more next year. Like I think he could be a guy that could add that upper body strength, similar to Riley Piercy. Strong right now, but young and got a lot of frame to fill out. So
Mhm.
I see that. I see him. If those two end up in the gym, like you could see totally different players next year that are just like, yeah, way up in the depth chart. Depending on the coaching situation, they've been kind of pegged by Dale in that fourth line role. Um, it's tough to get out of Dale's doghouse when you're there. Like, there's been some players in the past that have been there. Like, the one most famously is probably Zach Magwood. Never really got first power play time, but now he's in the AHL, and so yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens with them going forward. I like those two guys.
Hmm. Victor Hadfield. 4 assists on the season, so I mean he's getting some point production. And actually, the other night I don't remember what game it was. It was the last one that I went to there. And I was there with Justin, and I
Yeah,
mean there was like 3 times where I thought he was gonna score, and you could see the guys on the bench wanted him to score so badly.
yeah.
And honestly, like in that game, he was getting more chances than pretty much anybody on the team. He even hit a crossbar the one time too, and just I feel like it's gonna happen for him, and he's gonna get that first goal soon. And
Yeah.
I'm ready to mark out over it because he's improving. It was kind of got like moved. I mean, it's really hard, especially when like he's kind of finding himself in the league, and you're a defenseman and you're randomly playing forward
Yeah.
sometimes, and like
Um,
you're kind of you start to kind of find your footing at your position. And then oh well, you can play here.
he's
Like.
like used as a utility guy. Like he's a really good skater. Uh, really really good skater. Like it kind of blows my mind. I'm not really sure what's going on there. Like yeah, he's been healthy scratched a bit. I'm really not sure about his play in his own end. I'd like to see him put his hands on someone and like maybe be a bit more physical and get involved a bit more
Mhm.
rather than watching the play. But yeah, I mean, he's been healthy scratched quite a bit, and at the age he's at, you don't really want to see yourself being healthy
Mhm.
scratched with a very thin lineup. We don't really have very many players.
No, and I mean one of the biggest areas that I see that like when he gets the puck in their zone, he just kind of panics, it looks
Yeah, a
like, and
little
he
bit
just
of
tries to move
poise
the puck
needed.
quickly.
Yeah,
And I mean, I realize this team's kind of struggled with that, getting the pass from the defensive line to the offensive guys to kind of start a rush. And I know that's something that, I mean, a lot of the guys on the team kind of struggle with some nights. But I think that that's one thing that I really like to see him kind of just, and again, it's confidence. And if he can find a way just to kind of try to slow things down and just kind of try to see stuff a little better, I think that would go a long way for him.
yeah,
Jake Partridge.
yeah. The Barry boy. I was excited about that pickup. He was really good with the minor midget AAA Colts. Um, yeah, he's okay. Like he's got the speed, he's got the game, he's working hard. Um, it's good. It's kind of like a wait and see. Like you see him on the fourth line. That's about where he should be right now. But I see potential there. I think that he could be good.
And yeah, I agree. And then last but not least, Matthew Stridell, if I said that right. I just call him Shredder, actually.
Yeah, well, if I could actually see him play, maybe I'd have an opinion.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
He doesn't get to
10
play.
games, so I mean,
But
he's
yeah, new signing by the Colts.
he's looked decent at times,
Have we
though.
introduced him yet?
I don't think so.
No, that's
No.
cool. Yeah, like that's a big deal. He's 2002 born defenseman, taken last year's draft, somewhere between like I think 8th or 9th round or something. Let's go to his profile there. He's from the Honey Baked organization. He was playing U16 for Honey Baked, which is in Detroit. He's from Raleigh, North Carolina. What's up with that? We got all these guys from down south.
Probably loves nonsensical victory celebrations.
Yeah, Grace like grew up watching the Hurricanes or whatever, but I guess he.
Nobody grew up watching the Hurricanes.
Well,
Stop it. He was a fan of somebody else. Nobody willingly
hilarious.
chooses. I mean, now they've got Sveshnikov. It's a different story, but
Spesh Daddy.
yeah.
But
So
yeah, like
he doesn't have a picture on the team.
that's a big deal that they signed him because, like, to be honest, like I thought it was going to be Austin Durazio, the 5th round pick, is playing with the Newmarket Hurricanes, and Noah Marino was my second favorite O2D. He was from Chicago Fury, and Sridel was my third favorite O2, which is like there's a lot of good players. Like that's not like any slight on him, but I was a bit surprised he didn't go with the other guys, but. Yeah, he's a big kid. I can kind of see why. Once I get signed, I kind of have these moments of clarity where I kind of see why. Because you can see that he's a kid that's growing and he's big and he's going to be like they have a lot more information than I do. They know projections on these guys. They know like where they see them in the future and how they see them fitting in, and they have different roles for guys. So I'm happy about the signing. So yeah, Sridel, he's an American kid, another American on the Colts. Maybe I'll make your American-born list one day.
Oh, he's got some time and some work to do,
time,
but the possibility is there because luckily
see.
for him, I mean, we got a bit right now, I guess, with
Yeah.
him and the American Dream. So I would have gone with the American Nightmare. It just doesn't sound as nice, and I mean, I prefer Cody Rhodes to Dusty Rhodes. But anyways,
Yeah.
we're running a little bit longer than we did, kind of planned on, so we'll
That never happened.
Never. Our goal was to hit. Just under an hour for this episode, and right now we're creeping on over an hour and 6 minutes. So we'll just kind of touch on the
That's
last
just a little
bit.
chat, man. That's nothing.
It's not too bad. Just hopefully we can get this up before we head over to the game there tonight.
Nice.
Colts lines, the way they've been lately. Top line has been Wilms, Rhodes, and Howardchuk. The lines have been questionable at times. Line 2 has been Suzuki at center with Aiden Brown and Jake Tortora. The third line has had Dalton Duhart center, Luke Bignall, and Forrester. And then Fleming, Partridge, and Piercy on that bottom pairing. Pretty curious lines. Rhodes, like I said, I think that the big thing with him is I kind of want his speed up with that top pairing. I mean, Howardchuk's been scoring. Wilms has been turning his game around. That second line with Suzuki, Brown, and Tortora has been good. And even the Forrester, Duhart, and Bignall line, it's been decent too. So I think that then if you take a look at the defensive pairings, we'll see obviously if they roll with this one again. But we've had Tucker and York on that top pairing, which I mean makes sense. Hill and Cameron on the second pairing, and then Allenson and Shredder on the bottom.
Yeah, Sridel. So okay, I put together lines that I would do for a game on. I did this January 26th. So if I were to put together the Colts line, this is what it would be: Piercy, Suzuki, Tortora. Thoughts there to give Piercy a chance to. I think he could open up a lot of room for Suzuki, do a lot of things, but obviously that's not going to happen. I've already talked about that. I think he deserves a shot. The second line: Bignall, Wilms, Forrester. Then Howardchuk, Duhart, Brown, Partridge, Fleming, Rhodes on the fourth line. And I don't know, I wish that they do Allenson and Tucker. I saw that in the summer and I really liked it. But at the same time, we also like Allenson and York, so that's good too. I think Allenson, Tucker, Hill, York. it might be a little more contrast where like you got like the bigger kind of physical guy and then one of like the more smaller skilled skating D mobile guy. Um, and then Cameron Streetel and then Greaves and net 'cause he's just dynamite.
Yeah, no,
But I don't know. That's my thoughts on the depth chart. I'd like to get more forward thinking, more future thinking. But yeah, clearly something's going on with Piercy where he's down in the depth chart for some reason. Who knows what that is? And I don't have as much information to be able to tell why he's on the fourth line every game. But yeah.
I mean, it's going to be tough to really develop more when you've got other guys trying to kind of make their name for themselves too on that bottom pairing. So, I mean, they just got to, I mean...
Not even just like
I know they're
one
trying
game,
to...
like...
Yeah. I mean, and the big thing to consider too is they are making the playoff push, and maybe Dale doesn't feel confident taking chances when, with what we've had has kind of been a struggle to stay within that playoff mix anyways. So...
Yeah, and I mean, like, in this episode, we're about to close up. I've been a lot more critical than I've ever been. But, like, realistically, the Colts are in 9th place, so it's maybe time to get a little real. And I've tried to be respectful and try to get my opinion out there, what I think. And there's lots of good things about all these players that I've done some criticism of. And... it's all on how you take it.
It just comes with the territory, man. Like, I mean, if your goal is to move on up to the next level, I mean, you need to learn to just hear,
I'm sure they know too.
For sure,
that there's stuff to work on.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think that like Suzuki's sitting in a room upset because I said he needs to work on his
upper body strength,
right, or his upper body strength, right? I mean, these guys, I assure you, are being told this by people a lot more qualified to make that calling than us.
Oh, for sure.
So this isn't news. This is just observations, and I mean, at the end of the day, if we could point something out that maybe somebody else hasn't pointed out, and I can assure you, in these cases, someone has pointed it out. I've seen Twitter. And people point this stuff out in a lot more vicious way than I do. So.
Yeah, there's an unofficial, we're the very Barrie Colts team, and there's an unofficial, very angry Barrie Colts team, which we're not a part of.
We are not a part of it.
We're like the nice guys.
We are the nice guys.
We like to think we are.
For the most part, except for
Justin. No, I'm just kidding.
Justin's vicious, man. No, you watch that guy, man. The worst part is because he doesn't put pictures of himself online, so like people at games don't know who to look out for. Like homeboy's in there just ready to take someone's head off.
I love Justin.
So I just make sure he's got pizza or something.
Justin and I are going to the auto show tomorrow. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, first things first. Colts game tonight. So should we close up so we can get this uploaded before we head out?
And then because we got to get over to the arena. I think we'll be there for what? Just after 5. We were saying we wanted to get there.
Yeah, we're gonna get there. Maybe say hi to Gene. I guess 7:30 tonight. BMC. Colts Frontenacs, big win. I really hope that we win this one. Fronts are a dumpster fire, so they're not very good. So hopefully we can beat them. And then Monday they got a game in Hamilton, Family Day, 2 p.m. So get your kids in the minivan and drive down the highway to the Hammer and check out the Colts.
And as we mentioned, both of these games are very important. The one tonight, obviously, because Kingston hasn't won a game in 10 games. And then obviously Hamilton being one of the teams that we're kind of battling with to get possibly into the playoff mix, so that will be a big one for us to get as well, hopefully. Hamilton plays tonight, so that's a game for you guys to watch. They're against Peterborough, who's another team that we're kind of watching. Actually, in theory, we'd be better off if Hamilton won tonight because we're closer to catching up to Peterborough. So
actually, there's one more thing. Sorry to cut you off there. Were you done your thought?
That's it.
Okay.
Luckily for you, I forgot.
We're dropping the gloves.
Yeah.
There's big news in the OHL.
I was bringing that up actually.
Yes,
the swiper no swiping.
Let's close with that. So the Ontario Hockey.
Let's close on a plus note.
Yeah. This is really annoying.
The Niagara IceDogs are in the IceDog house.
The Ontario Hockey League has levied fines totaling $250,000
$250,000.
A quarter of a million bucks.
Against
the Niagara IceDogs Hockey Club and taking away first-round draft selections in 2019 and 2021 first-round selections. Holy crap.
Are you going to use any of that money to cover some of the OHL live fees? I watched the game the other day, and it was in, like, double widescreen. What is going on? Anyway,
okay,
sorry.
So honestly, the thing about this
Niagara
is
cheated.
It related to 2016, which is when the Colts lost to them in the Eastern Final. So I got a little hot about that,
was
one.
A hard one.
And then, yeah. And I mean, okay, so what? Like, London was a really good team. They had the Marner thing going, Dvorak, Tkachuk. They had a monster juggernaut squad. But I want that Bobby Orr trophy, man.
Yeah, totally.
Winning the East is a big thing to me. Like, I want to get on that. Well, it's not me. I want.
No, it's you. You take the recognition for this. This is yours.
I want the Colts.
The team needs to win for Ryan.
Oh man.
We'll put his name up on the board at the BMC.
Oh man, you're just embarrassing.
Just put you on the scoreboard,
dude.
I've heard they've taken names down from there, so there's open spots that we can put you in.
I'm a Colts freak. I love the Colts. So yeah, that was a tough one. And you know what's like the worst part about it is this is the second time it's happened to us. The Colts lost in the finals in 2010, and that was when Windsor got caught with the sanctions, like similar penalties, and it's like. That was the year.
I believe actually theirs was even stiffer.
People say, yeah, and people say it had related to Cam Fowler, but I can't confirm or deny that. I don't know, but Cam Fowler, the American defense, he's still in the NHL right now, right? But who knows? Like that, they don't release information on that. Basically, what happens is like a third-party law firm goes in and does an investigation, so it's completely an independent opinion. And then writes a report to the league about it, and then the league makes these decisions based on those reports. So it's pretty substantiated evidence. I guess Niagara's planning to appeal this.
They've said, they announced on Twitter that they would not be making any comments on it at the time, as they will. Did you read the quote?
That was Marty
Branch.
Yeah. No.
Okay, so basically what the league ended up saying was the league takes our commitment to our players and their player experience very seriously, which includes ensuring a fair and competitive on-ice experience among all teams, which kind of sounds funny when you think of some teams. Except for the Barrie Colts. In order to maintain the integrity of the players' experience and competitiveness within the league, it is critical that all clubs operate within the league's recruitment guidelines.
Yeah.
When a club ignores these guidelines, significant sanctions are required. And that was, of course, David Branch, the OHL commissioner.
Yeah. Marty Williamson was the coach at the time, and he left after that, so that explains things a bit there. Like, I don't know if it was him or... There was also management members that are gone. Marty Williamson used to coach the Colts, so I don't know who was involved. Like they don't tell us that, which protects people.
And I wouldn't expect them to say anything more. You know, a lot of people are like, I don't want to say anything until more stuff comes out, and nothing's going to come out.
It's funny. Like I put out a poll today just because I was frustrated about this, and it was like, so Barrie Colts fans out there, what's the most disappointing, controversial season ending? In light of the news coming out of the OHL's head office. And then it was, number one was London Knights 2013 finals. So it's 53%. 2016 East finals versus Dogs related to this, 17%. 2010 finals versus Spitz related to a similar incident, 17%. And the lowest total, 13%, is a Mem Cup title game. So that tells you something. Because a Mem Cup title game is the highest stakes, and it has the lowest percent as being a disappointing ending. So Colts fans, I guess I got 59 votes on that.
I guess from their perspective, at least there was a championship involved that season, so it's a little bit easier not to get as upset, maybe. But
yeah, for the 2000, check out my Twitter. I put out the loosepucks.com article from Sanaya Saperji. And that you'll get the stuff on the 2000 year. 98-99 was tricky too, with Brian Finley getting injured. And then the Colts goalie was terrible. He never played for the Colts again after that. He kind of like lost it for them. I can't remember who that was. Way back in the day. So yeah, I mean, like you had the failed Mem Cup bids. Like it all kind of stems from the 2000 year. It's crazy. Oh my gosh, just read that article.
Check it out while you're on your Twitter. Plug it as we close out.
Yeah, that's it.
Plug it.
Go Colts, go.
What's your Twitter?
Oh, my Twitter, Ryan P.
Let the
McArthur.
people know.
Yeah, Ryan P. McArthur. Give me a follow.
You can also follow the blog's Twitter, which is just at Barrie Colts. You can use that same handle to find us on the Instagram as well as Facebook. You can follow me on Twitter as well, but I'm not going to give you my handle.
Ryan Noble 66.
No, you will not give. If you want my tweets, you need to find it on your. Put the work in, and then you will get my delicious. Tweets.
Ryan's the best gift maker in the OHL.
Oh man, you should see what we have.
We got new goal gifts coming, boys.
I've got a lot of next season stuff ready. You should all be excited. We've got some solid work coming. So from myself, Ryan Noble, from you,
and Armac here.
Armac, big Armac, with extra. Oh, that's gross. I'm not gonna say that. Thank you for listening to episode 8.
All right, thanks, guys.
And go Colts, go.
Go Colts, go.
And
proving a nuisance to my revolution. Soon get you bruised with my movements, footprints. Music I splatter. Oozes the